This is a special episode of Pegaso Reise podcast in English language about the current situation in the Ukraine. I spoke with Anna Grechishkina on March the 2nd of 2022, 1 week after the start of the Russian invasion in Ukraine. Anna is a Ukrainian motorcycle traveler. She's been on the road since 8 years, rode 2 times around the globe, and she's now in Namibia. In this episode, she talks about her perspective on the war in Ukraine. Welcome, Anna Grechishkina. How are you?
Well, Claudio, I wish I could say I'm fine, but it would not be 100% true. I'm holding on, but I'm very sad. Well, it's to say the least, right? But I'm sure that you understand. So
Yes. I can understand, but I think I cannot. I can only perhaps imagine how you must feel being so far away from your homeland. On the one hand, you are very safe now in Windhoek, but on the other side, I can imagine that you would like to be near your relatives, your family and friends in Ukraine. So just to start your journey, you are now on the road with your KTM 1190, your motorbike, riding around the world since 2013. Is it right?
yeah, this is correct. So I started my travels 8 years ago, basically 8.5. Yeah, and that was and still is continuous travel, non-stop, and that's my second circle around the world. And but you're absolutely right. I feel I'm very confused, and I don't know what to do because I'm so far away from my country and from my friends, from my family, and I feel that I have to be with them. You know, I have to contribute somehow. You know, to help, and basically now I feel really helpless. So yeah, sort of lots of emotions, but that's just the way I feel. And thanks for letting me express myself.
Yes, because now the whole world is looking on Ukraine and what is happening there. And in the same moment, I see how many things I don't know about Ukraine. And just to have an imagination, the year you started your journey was 2013. Can you shortly explain what happened 2013 in Ukraine?
Well, in Ukraine, it was just a peaceful country. You know, everything was all right. And my idea was, to travel around the world for 2 years to make one circle and then to come back again to Ukraine and just to continue my life, you know. Well, 2 years turned into 3, into 4. It had nothing to do with Ukraine or that I didn't want to come back or anything like this. It's just I realized that traveling is just my way of life. I just realized that I'm a kind of a nomad, you know, inside of myself and in my heart. But I always had the Ukrainian flag on my bike. I always talk to people where I'm from, and I always explain the meaning of the flag. Those 2 colors, blue and yellow. That blue is the sky. And the yellow, the fields of wheat, because we are one of the richest agricultural countries, you know. And it's beautiful when you travel, you know, in Ukraine and these steppes, these fields, and you see the flag, you know, and what it symbolizes. That's amazing. And I just realized that many people in the world, they didn't know at that time where Ukraine is, you know.
And it's such a big country, no? The second largest country in Europe.
Exactly. And I was so proud to say that, you know what, Ukraine is the largest country in Europe and this and that. And we are beautiful and peaceful people, you know. And I was so proud that I could kind of raise awareness about my country, you know, because I was so proud of it, and I am, you know. And now to see what is happening, and well, actually, you know, several months after I left Ukraine on my trip, they started that revolution of dignity, when people were really pissed off with the government because most of people, they really wanted to enter European Union, you know, and to live like a European country and to head to even more independence, you know. But one of our ex-presidents, Yanukovych, he decided that no, he's not doing that, because he was a kind of pro-Russian puppet. And people just didn't take it. They just said, no, we don't agree with you. And they stood out, and that was really, it started as a peaceful protest.
The famous protest on the Maidan, the Euro-Maidan protests, as we heard them.
Exactly. And just recently, I remembered again about the movie that was filmed, documentary, The Winter on Fire of 2014, about the events, of that time. So if anyone is interested, it's on Netflix. So it's very easy to find, and there are English subtitles. So any English-speaking person can easily understand what's going on. And, I watched it again yesterday, and I couldn't stop crying. It's just, on one hand, I was so proud of my people that they're not just silent sheep, they can speak and they can defend their rights. But now it's a totally different magnitude and level, and now we are attacked by the country and by the people who claim to be our brothers. What kind of irony and sin? I mean, this is very cynic.
Yes.
Sorry,
yes.
I'm really angry, and
yes, but we are all so shocked about what Russia is doing there. It's a kind of surprise on one hand, but now looking back on the history of the last years, it's not such a surprise when we see what has happened in 2014 with the invasion of the Crimea.
Exactly, and Donbass as well. And,
Donbass, Luhansk and Donetsk.
Unfortunately, these 8 years, it was actually, I'm sorry, it was actually a constant war in Ukraine. It just, the world didn't it was not on the news. It was not on the front pages, and that's why many people were actually surprised that it was the ongoing war in Ukraine, for the 8 years, and now it just escalated, and it is so sad to see that many of the places that I know and remember and love, like Kharkiv, one of the largest cities in Ukraine, was the biggest central square in Europe. Can you imagine? It was bombed. There's almost nothing left. I can see the images from the city. I'm shocked,
Yeah.
I'm really shocked. I'm angry. I'm furious. And I'm far away, I don't see it with my own eyes. And I cannot even imagine what people who saw that and who live now in Ukraine, how they feel.
Yeah,
it's amazing, and especially what makes me even more angry is that there are people, well, especially in Russia, who support this, and who justify this. For me, this is very unhuman.
Yeah,
seriously. Yeah. I cannot understand it. I really cannot get it.
Yeah, these pictures of war is so incredible to see that it's not so far away. I live here in West Germany, and I could go into a plane, and 2 hours later I would be in Ukraine. It's really, as you say, in the middle of Europe, where this crazy war now has started 6 days ago. So. And we didn't see it coming, even though so many people or other countries said that there's something going on, that there is a danger of Russia invading other countries. And we also always said, let's talk about it. Let's make diplomacy, which is always right. But we see that Russia, that Putin, to say that the president, doesn't give a shit on diplomacy, and is starting a war which can be perhaps much bigger than everything we thought in the last days or weeks or even years.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to say that it's not just. I mean, every war is a horror, and every war is bad, is sad. But this war is much bigger than just the war between Russia and Ukraine. It can escalate to much bigger proportion. So even if someone doesn't really care or doesn't really understand or thinks that Ukraine is a little bit far away and it will not reach me, I mean, it can change just, in a moment, in a day. It can affect basically Europe the whole world, because this person, I don't want to even pronounce the name,
I can
okay.
understand, yeah.
I mean, this person is crazy. I think that it's just common sense and reasoning. It's not about him, so he can do just whatever. And that's why I think that all of us have to be at least aware of the danger and to do every little thing that we can, even to raise awareness around us, even to read like the reliable sources of information, not just to hide our head into the sand thinking that it's somewhere far away, it will not touch me. It can, believe me, it can. I'm a person that is very far from politics, I don't understand much, and I'm not going really much into it. I'm a traveler, I'm a nomad. But this is not about politics anymore, This is the matter of life and death, and not just of one nation. But because he will not stop with Ukraine, Imagine that he surrenders Ukraine. And I mean, it will not enough.
This is what we are starting to understand now. This is not just about two countries having a war. It's much, much bigger, because it is a question about the whole Europe, which is now starting. But
exactly.
just about you, Anna, I've seen you.
Just a few more facts that maybe people don't know, that already 1 or 2 days ago, they dropped a vacuum bomb on Ukraine. And this is a kind of weapon which is prohibited by all the conventions, right? And they already dared to do that, right? Also, I want to point out that Ukraine has 4 biggest power plants, one of the biggest power plants. And imagine if they will be bombed or attacked, So you can imagine the scale of disaster, not just for Ukraine, right? So, and they're threatening with nuclear, with the use of nuclear weapons. So, I mean, this is just insane. And I have no doubt that he would do that, seriously. So I think that we just have to get united, not just Ukrainians, but the whole world, basically, just to stop this guy,
Yeah. Anna, I've seen that you have studied in a university in Kiev. Do you come from Kiev?
Yes, I come from Kiev. I was born there, and I lived all my life before I started my trip. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So you still have family there in Kiev?
Yes, I have my aunts. I have my cousins. I have many friends. Well, I'm the only child in the family, so I don't have siblings. But my family is quite extended otherwise.
So can you perhaps tell which information do you get in the last days of perhaps family members or friends in Kiev, or perhaps they are now not any longer in Kiev, are starting to flee from there?
Well, some of the friends, mostly ladies with the kids, some of them, they left Ukraine. Actually, it was not easy, right? But today I received the news from my best friend that now she's safe in Germany, and I'm very happy. So she managed to get to Germany with her 6-year-old child, but her husband stayed in Kiev, and he fights. He fights against the enemy. So all the men are in Kiev, and actually it's prohibited to leave for men from 18 to 60 years old, right? My 2 aunts, 65 and 70 years old, they had a chance to leave Kiev. They didn't agree. They're right in the middle in Avalon. It's one of the regions that was really affected and still is, with lots of attacks, lots of missiles. And they're still there. They are helping, and they're not scared. I call them every day, and I'm just amazed at their spirit. They're full of actually positive energy and willingness just to do whatever they can. And
you said
every
they are
time
helping.
I talk to them and to other friends, they oh my goodness, I'm so proud of them. Really, I'm so proud of them.
You said your aunts are helping there. What kind of help can they give in the moment? What are they doing there now?
Well, like everyone can contribute. For example, if you have some knowledge of medicine or whatever, you can help with people who are injured, or you can basically cook the food or make sandwiches, right? you can prepare those famous Molotov cocktails. You know, there's always something to do, like seriously. And of course, if you are the man, if you can hold the gun, the weapon, whatever, I mean, definitely you can do that. Also, in the little villages, for example, people they're dismantling the road signs so that the enemy doesn't know where they are. You know, and because some of those agents of Russia or Russians, they try to infiltrate and to make their dirty job, like making the marks, you know, on the roads or on the buildings, that for them it would be easier to target with missiles, you know. So people are doing that too, just covering them with the dirt or with another paint, you know. So there's a lot of things that you can do. But definitely it's really dangerous, and those who are staying and who are willing to do whatever they can, it's very impressive.
Mm-hmm. It seems that Ukrainian people are very strong in defending their rights or their dream of democracy and their country.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, it's even hard to express how proud I am. You know, these are really strong people that will not be silent. And they will protect their lands, their families, and they love their country. I mean, I'm not saying that we are perfect. I mean, we have quite a lot of problems. We had the problems with corruption and, you know, with many other things. And I'm not saying that everyone is an angel and a saint. Like in every nation, you know, there are assholes and there are good people. But I would say that the majority, they would die for their country, seriously. Yeah. And it's not about president, like some people say. Why would you people die for their president? It's not about president at all. I assure you, it's about their free will. And,
when did this invasion started last week? You just freshly came to Namibia. Is it true that you were there for some days only or some hours?
Strange enough, I landed in Namibia on 23rd of February, and in the morning of 24th, I woke up with the message of my best friend, which was saying, we are under attack, we are being bombed. And, well, I cannot express what I felt. It was like a bad dream, you know. I saw that I'm still dreaming, and that's the nightmare, and I will wake up. But unfortunately, that was the reality. I think that if it happened just a day earlier, I would not fly anywhere. But again, it's so now I'm actually I don't know what I will do, because I cannot concentrate on anything else, and I keep following the news. I'm always in touch with my family, and for me, I kind of feel that I don't have the moral right, you know, to continue traveling, to post nice photos from the countries I'm traveling. You know, it's just something is wrong about it. And it seems like my world, it just changed just in one day, you know, and it's sad. And I'm thinking what I can do and how can I be of help, maybe on the distance, or I have to fly somewhere else, even going back to Ukraine. But now it's getting like really difficult to cross the border. But yeah, I decided that first I have kind of to calm down, to cool my mind, and kind of to take the rational decision. Maybe I will put my journey on hold. I don't know. So I wish I could tell now more what decision I took, you know. And even yesterday, I think that I was sure that what I'm going to do. Now there's a little bit of hesitation, but yeah, definitely I really just want to be involved and to be of help and to contribute somehow, even with the little bit that I can.
So this is also a question we are asking ourselves in Germany or in the German-speaking motorcycle travel scene. What can we do? We are hearing of some organizations who are organizing help on the borders to Ukraine for the refugees coming out of Ukraine. But is there something else what we can do?
Well, there's quite a few things, and if someone is interested, I posted on my Facebook page and I made it the pinned post, right? So it's always on the top and you can easily see it. It has the image, how to help Ukraine, right? So basically, there are like 3 main points, which I agree with. So first is stay updated. Yeah. You can contact your Ukrainian colleagues and friends and to read trusted sources, So I would say that being aware and being informed now is really important. But you really have to select the sources, who are saying the truth. So in this post of mine and in some previous posts, you could see the links that are trustful and that you can rely, right? Then, of course, you can donate. Yeah, again, there are links on my Facebook page with the trustful links, resources where you can donate if you're willing. Definitely, we get a lot of help from Europe, with weapons and with some other things like medication, etc. But there's always need, and I can be sure that these organizations, these charities, they use every penny, every dollar, cent, just for the cause, so it will go, it will used in a good way. So you can do that if you feel like, right? Also, the third part is advocate. Like you can participate in the protest, you can talk, you can, if you have access to, I don't know, to politicians, to any decision makers, you can do that. Like, for example, we as Ukrainians, we've been asking for all these days, please close our sky. Okay, you cannot help us with like the real army. We understand that, trying to understand, so to say, yeah. But I mean, at least you can close our sky because they're bombing us, they're destroying the residential buildings. Many children died in the hospitals, in the orphanages, in the nurseries. This is very sad. These children haven't done anything wrong, and still they claim, they lie that they don't hit residential areas. This is very sad, So you just be aware. And of course, if you know about someone who is in your area or you can help to anyone, you can offer your help, and definitely, I'm sure that every European country now has some organizations, some charities, some groups that are helping. So you can come and donate, I don't know, some parcels of food or clothes or whatever. Or if you can invite some of the refugee, I don't know, lady was the child. Or, I mean, there are ways to help, and you are mostly welcome, and we all really appreciate that.
Yeah, I've seen that Mission Lifeline, Seenotrettung, they are organizing some convoys for the borders to Ukraine. The big charity organizations like Brot für die Welt, Diakonie, they are coming together in the Bündnis Entwicklung hilft and the Aktion Deutschland hilft, and this is also some addresses where you can make donations because they are big organizations who can really give a big help. But on the other side, also these protests. Last weekend we had big protests, more than 500,000 people on the street. People ask me, what does it make a difference if you are on the street or not? But I can imagine that for Ukrainians, this is a big sign that you are not alone, and that we in other countries, we are on your side, giving this support and showing that we are in solidarity with you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I always say that every voice, every word, it really matters. Maybe you don't think this way, but imagine to combine all these voices, and it will be already 500,000, as you said, or 1 million. And I just want to say that, yeah, that's really great. That's important to organize protests in Europe. But if someone of Russian people, Russian-speaking people, they are now listening and can spread this word. What is important is that you stand out against your government. This is very important. Don't be scared. Don't just sit at home and don't pretend that it's somewhere far away and that there is any reason for this war. There is no reason. There is no justification. And people are dying. Also from Russian side, why would you want this? Why to continue this war? For what? For just crazy ideas of one person and the group of people who support him. I think that if millions of people in Russia stood out and went out on protests, that would make a difference. It would not be possible to get them arrested, because now it's just a few thousands, which is also great, and I really admire and respect those people because they're in minority and they're still not scared and they protest. But then they get arrested and that's it. You know, where are all the millions? How can you support this war? You were fighting in Second World, you know, in Second World War, and now you are initiating what? Third World War. This is that I cannot get it. Seriously.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is now the moment where also the civil society has to stand up and raise the voice and say we are not with the government. We are this is not okay what is going on, and we're against it. So well, it's easy here in Germany. I think it's very hard in Russia, but it could make a difference if the Russian people stood up. And there are some people standing up, but it could be much more.
Yeah, it's definitely it's not enough. And I mean, you can look at Ukrainians, you know, how we stand out. I mean, if we are not happy with our government, we say this, and we say this in a very obvious way, and we make changes. Okay, as I said, we are not perfect. Yeah, and we didn't reach the level yet that we would like to. But we are on the way. We are at least doing something. We are making small steps. We are not sitting just in the homes, you know. So please do something, and not just something, but active steps.
So a little bit of positive thing is that the plan of Russia to make a blitzkrieg and to invade Ukraine in 2 or 3 days didn't go right. I think they were also surprised how many defense there is in Ukraine.
Yes.
And perhaps this is a little bit of hope to see that this will not be a quick war and it will endure much more time, and perhaps this gives also time for the people in Russia to see that this is not right, and this is a dirty thing that they are doing there.
Exactly. That's a great thing, you know, and I'm always like talking to friends in Kiev, even though I feel guilty because maybe I'm bothering them and taking their time, but I'm like, so, but how is Kiev? Do you think we have a chance? And they're always like, relax. No one will come here. We will defeat them. We will win. So it gives me hope, and they're so full of motivation and passion. And yeah, definitely the plans of Russians to make it easy and fast, they didn't work, and yeah, and I suppose that Putin and all his circle are really getting angry. But no, it will not be easy. Definitely not.
Yeah. I see that Moto Shept, a friend of us, is writing. Hope there are a lot of Russian in this session. Anna's mentioning it currently. So if you have questions to Anna, you can post them here. I can ask them. But I also think that you have mentioned the most important points in this moment. So I think you can, in the moment, not say what you will do next. You are in the situation that you first must think what is the best to do in your situation to stay in Africa or come back to Europe. I think this is a very hard decision in the moment. But I think that even though what you are talking now on social media, also to all your fellows, is also something good that you are doing now to raise awareness.
Yeah, at least one thing I can promise to everyone and to myself, that I will be posting a lot of things. So maybe the people who are interested purely in traveling would be disappointed, and some already are. But I mean, it's not about number of followers, but about my values, you know, and about my position. So if someone doesn't like it, I mean, that's their choice. But definitely I cannot stay aside, and I will always express my opinion, even if someone doesn't like that or doesn't want to hear that. And even if I continue traveling at this point, there will be much less publications just purely from the road or some nice pictures or videos. because even now when I see some photos of the bikes and the roads and nice sceneries, I don't know, it's difficult for me even to express how I feel. It's just, it seems like my world changed, really, as I told you, that I think that with the war in my country, I cannot just concentrate just pure on traveling and the road. So yeah, I think that my pages will turn more into into the pages of raising awareness and information of what's going on, and support of my people, even with the words. So yeah, at least this thing I can do. If I can do something more, I will use every opportunity for that also.
I think that the majority of the other people interested in motorcycle travels and in travels in general, people traveling, understand what you mean, because traveling around the world opens the mind, and you don't only see nice pictures, but traveling, you begin to understand more of the world, and understand more also means that you see what is going wrong, and sooner or later you start to engage and see that we are part of this world, and not just people sitting somewhere and looking at it, but we are part of it, means that also we can engage, even though we can change something in this world, and it's up to us if we just want to watch or be a part of it and change some things.
Exactly, especially that I think that people who are traveling, they're becoming citizens of the world, right? It's not anymore about some particular nation or country. We are very open-minded, and we take every problem like maybe more closely to our heart, right? So yeah, that's why I think that our main goal now, even if we cannot contribute in any other way, but just to keep our eyes open and to be aware of what's going on, you know, to talk to people around us and to help to spread this awareness and to raise this awareness. And and to spread actually love, you know, love to our country, to the world. And definitely no war. We just have to understand that the war is not a solution, never. You know, every problem can be resolved just by diplomacy, by words, by talking. You will not gain anything by killing other people. It's not worth. And I just don't know how else I could express it. And,
yeah,
it would
but
be heard at least by people who support this nonsense. Seriously.
Yeah, you are so right. Anna, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us, that you could just give a small perspective on Ukraine, on your perspective on the Ukraine. I think we will stay in touch. We will follow you and see what you will decide in the next months, and we will look very interested on Ukraine and what is going there, and see what we can do and how we can help in any way. Thank you very much. All the best,
Claudio. Thank
for
you for letting me express myself, and thank you for your support. Thanks to everyone also.
Yeah, thank you very much, and all the best for the Ukraine. Peace for Ukraine.
Slava Ukraini.
Slava Ukraini. And mir, peace is mir, ne?
Slava Ukraini means glory to Ukraine.
Yeah. And peace means in Ukrainian language?
Mir.
Mir.
Mir. Mir.
Mir. Okay. Goodbye, and thank you very much.
Pegasoreise.de